This is BBC World News America reporting from Washington. I'm Katty Kay. Scenes of desperation as refugees in Congo clamour for food. Innocent children are trampled underfoot in the crush. Will the world step up to help them? What is fueling the war that produced this crisis? There's ethnic tension and long-held rivalries, of course, but they're also fighting over minerals made precious by demand from the developed world. The front-runner and the comeback artist. Barack Obama tries to hold his lead. John McCain claims he has momentum as they both storm through the last few days of a marathon campaign. The candidates get the spotlight, but the campaign volunteers are the unsung heroes on both sides. They've dropped everything to work for their guy.
I can put my home on hold, but I can't put the election on hold. It's just too important to me.
4 days before an historic election in America, you'd expect us to begin tonight's program on the campaign trail. Well, that can wait for a few minutes, because tonight, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, there are scenes of desperation so gripping that they simply demand our attention first. We've been reporting this week that fierce fighting has driven up to 250,000 people from their homes. Those people are now in need of food and shelter, and that need has produced a terrible rush for what little aid is available. Our Africa correspondent Orla Guerin was in the midst of the crush today in the city of Goma, and a warning that you may find some scenes in her report disturbing.
It was the promise of food that brought...
Alan Little there reporting on the background to a complicated war that has killed millions of people in the country of Congo. Now let's turn to the final days of America's extraordinary presidential campaign. In just about 100 hours, we will know whether Barack Obama or John McCain has won the election. Given Obama's front-runner status, you can't help but think that he'd like those hours to pass as fast as possible, while McCain wouldn't mind having a bit more time to change the game. Well, our correspondents have been following both candidates for weeks now, and we're joined first by Gavin Hewitt, who is covering the Obama campaign live in Highland, Indiana. Gavin, thanks so much for joining us. My sense from the Obama campaign is that they are a little bit nervous about some of these polls tightening, but they are more confident than they are nervous.
A few months ago to be where we are now.
Okay, Gavin, if their strategy for the next 3 days is basically to try and preserve the status quo, try and avoid anything going wrong, what have they got to do? For joining us, well, John McCain is completing a 2-day bus tour through Ohio, and so is our Matthew Price, who joins us now from Columbus, Ohio. Matthew, the McCain campaign says that they feel momentum. Do you actually see any sign of that on the ground? Briefly, Barack Obama's got about 15 different routes to the White House. John McCain's only got one, hasn't he? Welcome back to BBC World News America. More now on the presidential race from two very different perspectives. First, it is the quadrennial tradition of American politics to lament the negative campaigning, personal attacks and dirty tricks. And it's true, politics is a dirty game, and never more enthusiastically played than in the home stretch of a race for the White House. Here's our North America editor, Justin Webb. Well, despite all the negative ads and dirty tricks, there is an inspiring side of the presidential campaign, and it too is on full display in these final days. Thousands of volunteers have given countless hours of their time simply because they feel so strongly that Barack Obama or John McCain should be the next president of the United States. Some of them lick envelopes or make phone calls in their hometowns, but as we learn in tonight's first-person report, others, like Alex Ingram's and Fred Gallucci, have literally put their lives on hold and travelled across the country or even around the world just to volunteer.